Billions of dollars every single year. That's how much money people across the world spend on removing curses, pleasing planets, buying lucky charms, and visiting healers who claim to solve all problems. A black thread here, a protection amulet there, a special ritual that costs thousands of dollars. And people pay. Educated people, doctors, engineers, businessmen, they all pay. But here's what nobody wants to admit. Most of this is a business built entirely on fear. Today, we're going to expose the entire system, and we're going to see what Krishna actually said about fear, superstition, and fake spirituality. Let's start with a simple truth. Humans fear what they don't understand. When something bad happens and you can't explain why, your mind panics. It needs a reason, any reason. Your business failed, must be someone's jealousy. Child fell sick after a party, someone's evil eye. Consecutive bad luck, clearly some negative energy or curse. This is how the human mind works. It cannot tolerate uncertainty, so it creates explanations, even false ones, just to feel like it understands what's happening. And this is where superstition is born, not from truth, but from the desperate need to make sense of chaos. It's easier to say, someone did something to me, than to accept that sometimes life is unpredictable. Blaming an external force feels better than sitting with uncertainty, but feeling better doesn't mean it's true. Let's talk about the evil eye, one of the oldest superstitions in human history. Almost every culture has some version of it. Mediterranean countries, Middle Eastern nations, South Asian communities, Latin American cultures, everyone believes that a jealous glance can cause harm. Someone looked at your child with envy, and now the child is sick. Someone praised your new house too much, and now problems started. Why does this feel so real to so many people across the world? 2 words: confirmation bias. You meet hundreds of people every week. They look at you, your family, your possessions. Nothing happens. You don't remember these instances. But that one time, something went wrong after someone visited, that you remember forever. You connect the 2 events, and now you're convinced the evil eye is real. Here's what's actually happening. When you believe someone's negative energy has affected you, your mind becomes anxious. You start expecting bad things. This stress affects your decisions, your health, your focus. And when something goes wrong, you blame the evil eye. But the evil eye didn't cause the problem. Your belief in it created the stress that caused the problem. In chapter 2, verse 16, Krishna says, "The unreal has no lasting existence, and the real never ceases to be. The seers of truth have concluded this by studying both. The unreal has no lasting existence. The evil eye has no substance. It's a thought, a belief, a fear, and fear only has power when you give it power." Now let's talk about protection rituals that people swear by. Hanging lemon and chilies at entrances. Wearing black threads, carrying crystals for positive energy, lucky numbers, lucky colors, avoiding the number 13, not walking under ladders, throwing salt over your shoulder. You've heard of these. Maybe you practice some of them. Maybe someone in your family absolutely insists on them. Do they work? Here's what actually happens. When a person performs a protection ritual, they feel like they've done something to protect themselves. Their anxiety reduces. They feel safer. And when the mind is calm, decisions are better. Work improves. Things go well. So they think the ritual worked. No. Their own reduced anxiety worked. The ritual did nothing except create a psychological placebo effect. In chapter 7, verse 23, Krishna explains, "The fruits gained by those of small intelligence are temporary and limited. Those who worship lesser powers go to them, but my devotees reach me." Temporary relief, that's all these rituals give. Not because they have power, but because your mind temporarily calms down. A lucky shirt doesn't make you win, but believing you'll win makes you confident, and confidence improves performance. The power was never in the shirt. Now we enter darker territory, the world of fake spiritual healers. You've seen them. Long robes, mysterious presence, dramatic voices. They speak in vague, cryptic statements. They claim to see your past, present, and future. and people fall at their feet, give them money, follow their every word. But here's how the fraud works. First technique, cold reading. The healer looks at you and makes general statements that apply to almost everyone. You have faced betrayal from someone close. There is financial stress in your life. Someone is jealous of your success. You've lost someone who meant a lot to you. Who hasn't experienced these things? But when you hear it, you think, they know me, they have powers. Second technique, creating fear. Once you trust them, they tell you something is wrong, a curse on your family, negative planetary alignments, dark energy attached to you, someone performed black magic against you. Now you're terrified. Third technique, selling the solution. Special prayers for thousands of dollars, a blessed amulet for 500. Monthly donations to keep the protection active, special water that costs $50 a bottle. The fear they created, they sell you the cure. Fourth technique, creating dependency. They make you come back again and again. New problems keep appearing. New rituals keep being needed. You become addicted to their reassurance. In chapter 7, verse 20, Krishna reveals, those whose intelligence has been stolen by material desires surrender to lesser powers. They follow various rules and regulations according to their own natures. Intelligence stolen by desire, desire for quick solutions, desire for someone else to fix your life. And these frauds exploit exactly that. The biggest fraud of all, spirit possession. You've seen the videos online. Someone shaking violently, screaming in strange voices, the healer chanting prayers, and then announcing, the spirit has left. There was a dark entity inside this person. Is this real? Does a spirit actually enter human bodies? Let's understand what's actually happening. Many people who go to these healers are already in emotional distress, trauma they never processed, grief they suppressed, depression and anxiety that built up for years. When they enter an environment of chanting, incense, crowd pressure, and a powerful authority figure, their suppressed emotions explode. The body shakes, they scream, they feel like something else has taken over. But this is not a spirit. This is emotional release under extreme psychological pressure. The person genuinely feels like something left their body because their suppressed pain finally came out. But instead of calling it what it is, trauma release, the healer labels it as spirit possession and takes credit. And here's the dangerous part. By calling it possession, they prevent the person from getting actual help. That person needed therapy. They needed to process their trauma. Instead, they're told they were possessed, and now they live in fear of it happening again. In chapter 3, verse 42, Krishna explains where fear actually exists. The senses are superior to the body. The mind is superior to the senses. The intelligence is superior to the mind. And the soul is superior to the intelligence. Fear exists at the level of mind, not soul. The soul cannot be possessed. The soul cannot be attacked. Only the mind can create the experience of being attacked. And that's exactly what happens in these so-called possession cases. What about black magic, curses, people who claim to harm you through secret rituals? This fear is universal. Every culture has stories of witches, sorcerers, and dark practitioners who can destroy your life from a distance. Here's what Krishna says directly. In chapter 2, verse 23, Krishna says, the soul can never be cut by weapons, burned by fire, wetted by water, nor dried by the wind. Read that carefully. The soul, your true self, cannot be touched, not by weapons, not by fire, not by any force in this universe. If your soul cannot be cut by physical weapons, how can it be harmed by someone chanting words in a dark room thousands of miles away? The entire black magic industry runs on this lie that someone can harm your essence through rituals. They cannot. Can they scare you? Yes. Can your own fear then affect your health and decisions? Absolutely. But that's your fear doing the damage, not their magic. Think about it logically. If black magic actually worked, wouldn't powerful people use it to destroy their enemies? Wouldn't wars be fought with curses instead of weapons? Wouldn't every person with this knowledge become unstoppable? The power was never in their ritual. The power was always in your belief. Stop believing, and their magic becomes powerless. Let's talk about fortune tellers, psychics, and the massive horoscope industry. Millions of people check their horoscope every morning. They plan weddings based on birth charts. They avoid business decisions on certain days. They believe their entire personality is determined by when they were born. Here's the truth about horoscopes. Take any horoscope prediction. Read all 12 zodiac signs for today. You'll find that almost all of them could apply to you in some way. You might face a challenge today. Who doesn't? Romance is in the air, vague enough to mean anything. Financial opportunities are coming. Everyone hopes for this. These predictions are designed to be vague enough that everyone sees themselves in them. It's called the Barnum effect, statements so general that anyone can relate to them. And psychics? They use the same cold reading techniques as fake healers. They read your body language, make general statements, and let you fill in the details. You do most of the work. They just guide you. You walk out amazed at how much they knew. But they knew nothing. You told them everything through your reactions. But here's the confusing part. Educated people fall for this too. Doctors visit healers. Engineers believe in the evil eye. Scientists wear lucky charms for protection. How is this possible? Because education doesn't equal emotional clarity. When life gets hard, when you lose someone, when business collapses, when disease strikes, logic takes a backseat. Emotion drives the car. In those moments, you don't want statistics. You want hope. You want someone to tell you it's going to be okay. You want a solution, any solution. And fake healers offer exactly that. Confidence, certainty, a clear answer when your mind is drowning in confusion. There's also generational conditioning. Your grandmother believed it. Your mother believed it. You grew up watching these rituals. Questioning them feels like betraying your family. But just because something is old doesn't mean it's true. And just because something feels comforting doesn't mean it's real. Comfort and truth are not the same thing. So, what does Krishna actually teach about fear and freedom? In chapter 4, verse 38, Krishna says, "In this world there is nothing as pure and sublime as transcendental knowledge. One who has attained this knowledge enjoys it within himself in due course of time." Knowledge, that's the answer. Not rituals, not healers, not threads and amulets. Knowledge. When you understand how your mind works, superstition loses its grip. When you understand that your soul is untouchable, black magic becomes a joke. When you understand that uncertainty is part of life, you stop running to frauds for fake certainty. Krishna's message throughout the Gita is clear. Take responsibility for your own mind. Develop awareness. Seek knowledge. Don't outsource your power to anyone. True spirituality doesn't create fear. It dissolves fear. If someone's spirituality makes you more afraid, more dependent, more desperate, that's not spirituality, that's business. So here's what I want you to remember. Fear survives only where understanding is absent. The moment you shine light on these superstitions, they collapse. They have no substance. They never did. The evil eye is confirmation bias. Lucky charms are psychological comfort. Fake healers are skilled manipulators. Spirit possession is emotional trauma mislabeled. Black magic is fear dressed in mysterious language. None of it is real in the way they want you to believe. Your soul is eternal, untouchable, beyond harm. Stop giving your power to people who profit from your confusion. Stop believing you're weak enough to be destroyed by someone's jealous glance. You're not that fragile. You never were. Real spirituality sets you free. Remember that. If this video opened your eyes, like, share, and subscribe.